Denver to take care of him and the mental load that they're going to ask of him because Dobbins is out. Like, I felt like last week was more pass to run. Mm-hmm. And then this week they're starting to let him run the ball more so they can pass the ball. And I think that he's just exuding with confidence because the team has his back. Bo's playing really well right now. He's finding the receivers when he needs to, and the O-line is blocking their tails off for RJ.
All right, everybody. We are back with another episode of Broncos X O's. KOA's own Dave Logan is not here again this week, but he is getting honored at a coaching convention, and he just won his 13th state championship. So shout out to Dave for getting and winning another state championship. He'll be back with us next week. But Justin did so well that we invited him back, all-pro, 8 or 9 year NFL vet, 4-time all-pro, 2-time Pro Bowler. Justin Simmons is back on the show. What's good, my good man?
Man, I can't believe I got brought back. I thought for sure I messed it up last week. Nah, thanks for having me back. And I also want to say shout out to Dave. 13, that's not made up. That's
at 2 different spots. So I think this is
incredible.
6 at Cherry Creek, 6 or 7 at Cherry Creek, and then he had 6 or 7 at Mullen.
Yo, shout out to Dave. Y'all are blessed with Dave. I'm sorry I'm here, but y'all are blessed with Dave. That's crazy.
Oh, man. So shout out to Dave, man. Broncos get another win, 24-17. That is now 10 in a row. First initial thoughts on the game. Have you ever won 10 games in a row at Little League, Boston College?
Never. You didn't have to bring in BC to say that, but we never.
No, well, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm messing with you. But 10 games in a row. We'll start the segment today like we did last week. Now we said 9 games, 10 games in a row is insane, and especially in the National Football League. I don't care who you're playing. 10 games in a row is crazy.
There's not many people, including myself, being on some really good teams. I've been on 3 teams that have had bye weeks going into the playoffs. I think in New Orleans we were the number 1 seed in 2020 when I was under Sean, and then 2 here, and we never won 10 in a row. So what this Broncos team is doing is incredible. Can't be understated. I don't care how they're winning. And, 10 wins in a row is incredible.
Insane.
Shout out to Broncos country, man. It looked like a home game yesterday for the Broncos.
Sea of orange. I had to check. Like, I had to find the logo in the middle of the field. I was like, is this an away game?
Have you played in that stadium before?
Yeah. Every year since they moved over there.
Okay. What do you think?
It's cool. I'm not a fan of I don't know exactly how they do it. It reminds me of Arizona. Like they bring in the turf or whatever it is in there, like the grass turf thing. But the stadium's cool. It's obviously updated. I heard someone say it looks like I don't know, like something off of Star Wars. Like you're in this big black stadium and it's like light everywhere. So it's a cool stadium though. It fits Vegas.
It does. They need to move back to Oakland because ever since they moved into that stadium, it hasn't been working out. But what were your first initial thoughts and impressions of the game?
I thought the game was going to go exactly kind of like what we talked about last week, right? Like Sean's not going to let this get away. They're going to play hard. And they did. Like I think outside of maybe the first drive for the defense, I would say that game went pretty much exactly how he was going to draw it up. I don't know the exact stats. I think what impressed me the first quarter, and I think it was the fourth quarter, the offense had the ball for 8 minutes, it felt like.
Yeah. They had all the way down. Time of possession was 40 minutes, I believe.
And they scored.
Yeah.
I mean, they were playing, from what I saw, the Raiders were playing almost like prevent zone. You're not getting the deep shots. Show us you could drive the ball down the field, and the Broncos did just that. Ran the ball well. Bo threw his checkdowns when he needed to. It was a really, really, really solid win. I also think it was the first time I'm watching the game and I didn't have a heart attack in the fourth quarter watching it. So that helped too. So
so I guess we'll start with the offense. Yeah, Bo 31 of 38, 212 yards, no TDs, no interceptions. But you talked about the fact that he was checking the ball down. The Raiders were playing this prevent type defense. This was the first game where I watched Bo where I could see a little bit of the Drew Brees, Drew Brees-esque. He's not Drew Brees, but Drew Brees-esque in terms of one of my favorite plays was he dropped back, came up right in the pocket, and then threw a little no-look check down. But those are the little things.
I saw that.
Those are the little things that I think where you take even that next step in terms of your quarterback progression, in terms of your play, because that's how you extend drives. When you're on defense, is it demoralizing when the offense has the ball for 40 minutes?
Oh, it's more than demoralizing. And that just means like you're not stopping anything. You're not taking away anything. You're not saying this is what you do best for taking it away. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the intermediate passes. I guess they took away the explosive deep shots, but at what extent? Like they're still driving the ball and taking the plays that they want to at will. It's more than demoralizing. You just can't get off the field. Then your offense is on the sideline. They're not in a rhythm, and you're expecting them to go out against the best defense and score points. It's just not going to happen.
I've been on teams like that, really shitty teams, where you're kind of in the game, you're kind of out of the game, but you're not making the playoffs. And yeah, when they have the ball for 40 minutes like that, it's tough. It's tough to get anything going. What are your thoughts on RJ Harvey? I thought this was his best game yet. 17 carries, 75 yards, over 100 yards from scrimmage. He was super physical in the run game and like running super hard. What's your thoughts on the young buck, RJ Harvey?
I thought I was gonna say the same thing. I thought it was his best game. I don't know exactly what you are looking for when you're like a offensive mind like Sean or a really talented running backs coach. But I would imagine like one of the first things I would look for as a defender is like, does this guy fall forward after every time? And it felt like every single time he ran the ball, he was falling forward, getting extra yards. And so now instead of 2nd and 6 or 7, you're looking at 2nd and 4 and 3. Those are the difference. And then the playbook gets opened up way more. But yeah, man, shout out to RJ. And this is what I was talking about last week. Like I think Denver to take care of him and the mental load that they're going to ask of him because Dobbins is out. Like I felt like last week was more pass to run. Mm-hmm. And then this week they're starting to let him run the ball more so they can pass the ball. And I think that he's just exuding with confidence because the team has his back. Bo's playing really well right now. He's finding the receivers when he needs to, and the O-line is blocking their tails off for RJ.
Yeah, O-line playing extremely well. RJ Harvey, he can catch the ball, man, for a running back. Running backs usually just catch with their chest and catch with their body.
Got some hands.
Yeah, he's got hands. Adam Prentice with 2 carries for 22 yards. Did you see him try to? He did a stiff arm a little too early. His stiff arm was a little too early.
Way too early. Yeah. But that's my guy, Adam. Man. But
so you guys were teammates?
Early. It was a little early. Now, I met him one time. He went to Colorado State. I met him at Colorado State one time. I want to say he was at the Broncos for a short stint. Went off to play, I think, with New Orleans. I think that's why Sean brought him over once Burton was hurt. Anyway, I could be guessing on those things. But, yes, I know Adam. So he wouldn't mind me joking about the stiff arm was a little early.
Yeah, it was early. A little premature right there. Courtland Sutton, 6 catches, 10 targets, 62 yards. You've been teammates with Courtland. I think his level of consistency in play when the ball is being thrown towards him this year is going back to his Pro Bowl year. Mm-hmm. And I think his game, and I feel like his game has expanded a tremendous amount. And he's always had the big play ability. He can do the 50-50 balls. I think they're 90-10 balls when the ball is in the air and that he's going to get it. But I feel like his releases at the line of scrimmage is the next part of his game that has taken off this year. Yeah. What have you just seen from Cortland and his level of play this year?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Obviously, a former NFL wide receiver is like, what do you think has separated? Because I've seen a growth step this year. And, what's crazy is this is from what I can remember, maybe one or two other quarterbacks. But this is the first time he's had the same OC, head coach, quarterback come back, and this is the second year.
Yeah.
That is insane for a receiver. No? Am I lying? Like the camaraderie you have to have, the comfortability level that you have to have, the trust that you have to build. And I think that's part of it. You're asking me what it is. Like, I honestly think it's just like, I know what I'm going to get. I have the same OC, I have the same head coach, and I have the same quarterback. Finally, like, I feel comfortable. I can do this. I know what's expected of me. I know what's expected of them. So that, to me, I think is the biggest part. It's cool to hear you talk about the releases because I wouldn't have maybe put my finger on that right away. But now that you mention it, it has looked a lot cleaner.
Yeah, I think I saw Cortland at the Nuggets Warriors game and just went up to him and said, man, hey, just keep going. And he said him and Bo got an incredible relationship and that, he just got his back. They got each other's back. But what I will say, just being in the room with veterans like Wes Welker my rookie year, and then Demarius and Emmanuel, Cortland now has that calm veteran presence, and that's how he plays.
Yeah.
He's never too high, never too low. He's always had an even curl personality just from the outside, from what I've seen.
Yep.
But now you could just see it within the game. And the one thing that I love about DT, and you were teammates with DT, is that he wasn't a diva. Like, he wasn't, demanding or making a big scene on the sideline about getting the ball. And Cortland, I think that makes both so comfortable. And I love that this game plan featured Cortland, and you were just able to see just super comfortable in and out of his breaks, in and out of his routes. I mean, the one catch that he had on the curl route, he was getting held. He got the call and still caught the ball. So love what I'm seeing out of him. And then my guy, number 13, Pat Bryant, bro. 4 for 4 on his targets.
Yes, you got. You've been talking about it last week too.
Last week, and then throughout training camp, I think there are just certain guys, and you've seen this because you've gone against great receivers throughout the league. There are certain people who just are natural ball catchers, and he's a natural ball catcher. The 1 yard slant that he caught, and just running through the ball. I've only met a couple receivers who can just run through the ball. Michael Thomas was one. Odell was the other.
Yep.
Where they don't stop to catch the ball. They just run right through it, regardless of how much heat is put on it. So talk about what you saw just out of Pat Bryant and the rest of the receiving core. Troy Franklin, little Jordan Humphrey got the ball a couple times.
Yep. I think it was just a game, like once they kind of saw where the Raiders were going defensive mindset-wise, it was one of those games where it's like I hate to say it like this, but it's like, let's work on our craft and be great at what's being asked of us at this point. The intermediate, that quick slant like you were talking about. And, I think it says something too about the job that George and Sean Payton, the Paytons, have done is with their recruiting and bringing in some talent and the right guys to fit Sean's system. Because, Pat has been getting compared to Michael Thomas since he got in. Everyone keeps talking about the Joker and how Bo is like Drew and how they need a Michael Thomas, and they feel like Pat fits that mold. And the more and more reps he's getting, the more and more you're seeing. You just said like that 1 yard slant, you've seen a few guys do it, and you named Michael Thomas being one of them. And so I just think like there's something about the makeup of this team and the guys that they're bringing in personality-wise that is fitting well. And I just think that those types of things should be noticed. And so shout out to Pat for handling that well, and obviously the team for drafting the guys and bringing them in to fit the system.
It's getting later on in the season. Games are starting to mean more. At what point in your rookie year, just as a rookie, having so much thrown on your plate, did you start to not necessarily calm down, but like get a real grasp of things? Because you're starting to see it with R.J. Harvey. You're seeing it a little bit with Pat Bryant. Jahdae Barron. Let's actually just go to Jahdae Barron because he's a first-round pick. Like when do things start to slow down a little bit during your rookie year? I know as the years go on, they slow down even more. But when did it start to slow down for you as your rookie year?
Yeah, it was honestly right out. We had a late bye. We played New Orleans in New Orleans. We beat them on this crazy
Will Parks. Shout out to
Will
Willie
Parks.
Philly Will.
This special teams, crazy special teams play. We ended up beating New Orleans in New Orleans, and then I think that was like I'm not 100, like week 13-ish, somewhere around there. So it was a late bye. It wasn't until after I came back from the bye where I was like, okay, I kind of feel settled.
Yeah.
And I know there's probably a lot of people out there that are like, well, why is that happening? And I won't take too long to explain, but you got to think about what a lot of these seniors in college or whatever you're transitioning from and going into the pros.
Longest year of your life.
It is the longest year. You go from, well, now they have college football playoffs, but you go from, however long your season is, then you go to the bowl game, and then you go straight to combine prep, right? Then you have, whatever, if you get invited to Indy or not. You have your combine prep, then you have your pro day, then you have team workouts, and then you get the draft day, then you have spring ball. Then from spring ball, you go straight. You have to stay an extra week. Then you got to come back a week earlier for training camp. Then you have preseason where you're playing most of the time, learning a whole new playbook. Then you jump into the season, and before you know it, you're playing a full year of football, not just like the 6 months, whatever it is that you're used to.
And the longest you've ever played, which is now 17 weeks.
17 weeks now. And then you're jumping now for a team like Denver, who is, right now is the number 1 seed, in my opinion, definitely slated to make the playoffs here. Now you're extending your season even more.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. But
24 weeks to win the Super Bowl.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like there's so much behind the scenes. from a year-to-year Broncos country fan, you're just looking at it from the NFL perspective. But if you look from the big picture, like, man, his rookies go through a lot, and it's a lot. I can remember that. I didn't
and playing with Sean
down.
and VJ's defense, like
it's a lot to learn.
Yeah, they're not vanilla defenses or offenses. Like, yeah,
it's very complex. It's very complex.
Man, so shout out to these young Bulls. Let's go to the defense now. They let them score in the first quarter. I say let them score, but you know, Vegas is a pro team. I feel like this defense, that does happen a little bit where the team scores on the first or second possession and then the defense locks down and figures out what they're going to do. What did you see from the defense? What did you see from Vance's game plan that you liked or didn't like?
Yeah. I would really say the only thing I didn't like was that first drive. For the offense to come out and set the tone with that 8-minute drive touchdown. And then just as we always say, like, play complementary football. And so when the offense goes out and scores, the next best thing you can do as a team is for the defense to get a 3-and-out. Like, that is the most demoralizing thing you can do. Offense is in rhythm. Their offense is now, punting the ball back to your offense, and then you just see if we can keep the rhythm going, right? Vice versa, like when the offense goes 3-and-out, the worst thing you do as a defense is give up a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, like the only real critique I would have had was like just their first possession as a defense. Obviously not for them to go down and score a touchdown, especially because I don't know the exact stat, but I would imagine that they're a top 3 in the red zone defense this year. I believe they were number 1. Don't know if that still exists.
I think it was between them and Houston in terms of 1 and 2.
Okay. And so that was my only critique. I thought they got way more aggressive this week. Like I said, last week when they were playing Washington, Cliff Kingsbury, him and Vance played together. They're trying to play that chess match, in my opinion. So maybe he didn't blitz as much, but I thought they were a lot more aggressive. They got after the quarterback a little bit more this week. And that, to me, is always going to be their big success plan, is they're leading the NFL in sacks by a large margin. So getting after quarterback is the number 1 key to success for them.
I felt like there were some times where there were some players left open. Is that coverage? Is that the blitz not getting there, or is that communication? And I think Riley and Hufanga, I don't know what the communication there was, or what did you see in terms of the late touchdown on the post? Oh,
I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, the late touchdown. Yeah, that's tough. It almost looked, and this is just me, again, watching on TV, maybe not the all 22. It almost looked like it was a quarter, half, which means one half of the defense is playing cover 2, the other half is playing cover 4.
So quarter cover 2 to Hufanga's side.
Yes.
And then Riley's side had cover 4.
Cover 4.
Which supposed is meant to be. Yeah, it's meant to beat that coverage.
It is. And I think so the only reason I'm guessing about that is because it looked like Brandon was flat-footed, Brandon Jones, because he's playing quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there was a detached number 2, he's responsible for them unless they're short, then he can look for work, yada, yada, yada. But by then, that post is probably already going to leave his space. And so you would like for that back half safety to be able to make that play, but depending on down and distance and where the ball is going, like that's a really tough play for a post safety or half field safety to make. I thought Hufanga broke on the ball really well. It's just when you have, I don't know, when you're close to the red zone, I don't think it was like a 30-yard bomb maybe, that's going to be a tough play to make in a half field. So I like that, to me, is maybe just the perfect play call for that. When you're playing quarters as a corner, you're always taught the 2 routes you have to cover, no doubt, is the post and the bomb, which is just a go route.
Okay.
Can't give those up. But, like you said, on the first drive with Vegas, like they're a pro team. They get paid too.
Yeah.
Sometimes they make plays.
That's how good the defense is, that Broncos country will get pissed if they allow any touchdowns.
Any type of touchdown. What happened? This, that, and the other. But that was just a guess. It could have been communication. It could have been a bunch of different things. That's my guess looking at it. So that's my thoughts.
Everybody, I've talked about this before on the show. I love Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell after a win. I love Taco Bell after a late night. And Taco Bell is the absolute best at menu innovation, and they have done it again for a limited time. Taco Bell is serving up a steak and roasted poblano rolled quesadilla. This is a twist on a classic with premium ingredients to elevate your Taco Bell experience. And as the college football season winds down, you only have 1 week left to pick up a Buffs box, the best value in food. So grab this $7 box filled with 4 Taco Bell classics, and a player collectible cup. Live Más at Taco Bell. Whether you're just conquering off-road trails or hauling the weight of the world, there's a Toyota truck that's just right for you, like the 2025 Tacoma and the return of the iconic 2025 Land Cruiser. Toyota offers 17 models with available all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, like the epic 4Runner. Toyota also currently offers more low and zero-emission vehicles combined than any other automaker, to give customers numerous choices to reduce their carbon footprint. There are 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Toyota iForce Max hybrid truck. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe in Centennial, Cortland Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is an official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. You talked about it last week, the importance of a pass rush, going back to the 2015 team and then now this team. Can you talk about just the importance? Obviously, we look at Nik Bonitto, and he is sacking the quarterback, now has, I think, 12 and a half or 13 and a half sacks and continuing to make his mark. But what does it do just to the confidence level of the secondary when you have that type of pass rush?
Oh, bro, and like you said, I know we talked about it last week, and I don't mean to bore the audience, but like
the audience loves it, bro.
It is the best thing for a defender. Like, and I honestly think you could just look around the league at some of the top defenses in the league. Do they have an outstanding secondary? Maybe, but I know what they do have is an incredible front four, front seven. Houston, the reason why their defense is so good, Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter getting after the quarterback is unreal. They play fast, similar to Denver, right? Like, I think Jonathan Cooper is probably one of the most underrated players on that team.
Can you talk about how important is he when you say underrated, and why is he underrated?
I think he's the motor. Like, I honestly think he's the I don't even know who I would like compare him to that would make sense, but like to me, he's almost like the TJ Ward or Aqib Talib of the defense. Like, guys like, obviously Von Miller got the notoriety on that, right? Like DeMarcus Ware, obviously, is also another Hall of Famer. Malik Jackson played really well that year, right? Like, these are guys that are like Derek Wolfe, guys that are getting after quarterback consistently. Danny Trevathan was playing at an all-pro, Pro Bowl level at linebacker. And then you got and obviously TJ and Aqib were Pro Bowlers and all-pro in their own right. But they, to me, were like the energizers. Like, we're setting the tone. And I think that's what Coop brings to this defense. Like, yes, Zach Allen, all-pro Pro Bowler. Nik Bonitto, all-pro Pro Bowler. Now that Greenlaw's in the mix, he's playing at a high level. Alex has been consistent all year. You have a defensive player of the year in Pat. But the guy, in my opinion, that like sets a couple guys maybe, but one of the top guys is Jonathan Cooper. I think John Franklin Myers does that. I think Roach brings that a little bit.
Roach talk cash.
Yeah. I think those guys bring that nastiness to the defense, which is like, if you're a top defense, you got to have those guys. So that's what I mean underrated. Like, Coop may not get the headlines that some of these other guys are getting, but his pressure rate is just as high. His motor is high.
You were teammates with him?
Yeah.
So I met him alumni weekend when we were at the indoor facility, bro. He's intense.
No, he's intense.
Intense, bro. Like, we shook hands, bro, and I said something about Michigan State, Ohio State, and then he laughed a little bit, and then he was like, yeah, bro, we trying to get what y'all got. And I was like,
and he meant it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
On it. Like, he was ready to play right then and there.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, and that's just him when he's in football mode. Like, he is cool. He's a super cool dude, a great father. And then, like, when you're in football mode with him, he's intense. I love that. I think he's the tone setter for that defense.
Love that, man. Shifting from defense to now special teams, bro. Can you talk
Mims!
about Mile High Mims? Number one, shout out. He did the Mile High salute, bro. I just think that is
Broncos
incredible.
Country went crazy.
Bro, I just think that's what you need. And number one, you're showing and you're paying homage to the people who came before you, but then doing it after a 48-yard punt return touchdown.
And his first one.
Yeah.
He was due for
another. I think he could get his third All-Pro as a returner. He's in line to get paid. He will be getting paid by the Broncos, and I think, he just brings a different dynamic. When you think about championship teams, when you think about playoff teams, when you think about the New Englands, the Kansas Cities, or even our Super Bowl 50 team, Jordan Norwood. Shout out to Jordan. You know, at one point he had the longest punt return in history.
Yeah.
In Super Bowl history. When we played Pittsburgh that year, he had a crazy long punt return. Omar Bolden had one against Pittsburgh in the divisional. But you think about the New England teams, Amendola and Edelman make plays on punt return. Kansas City with Hardman and all these different guys. Mm-hmm. That is going to be one of those difference makers that helps the Broncos win a Super Bowl. It's him in the return game because he's averaging 14 yards a return. And a lot of people out there, to put this in, that's your first down as an offense. And that is huge. And we talk about that in special teams meetings or just overall team meetings in the NFL, is that how important punt is the most important play in football. And Marvin Mims has mastered the art of returning. Can you talk about, you know, just him as a player, but then also just how big that is for a team?
Oh, it's huge. I'm so glad you went down the line of in most recent years, like great teams and teams that have won Super Bowls, because yes, quarterback play has to be at a premium. You know, defensive play has to be at a premium. But also a big reason why these teams are winning Super Bowls and playoff games consistently is because of special teams. And that is always going to be something that separates the teams. Now, you may have a quarterback that can make up for that here and there, or a defense that can make it up for that for here and there. But special teams play is so critical. And it just speaks to what these guys are doing special teams-wise, because in years past, special teams has not always been an edge for the Broncos. And so, man, these guys are buying in. They're selling out. They were
ready to fire Darren Rizzi a couple weeks ago because the Broncos country was pissed.
Was not happy. I know, and you know, and for some, in some measures, rightfully so. But like, to see where they are, and they missed Mims for a little bit. You know, he wasn't fully healthy. Now he's getting back into the flow of things. And you see, it feels like every time he catches the punt clean and has a little bit of space, you're holding your breath because he might house it.
Yeah. Like
every single time. And this is what I was talking about last week. Not to over exaggerate this point, but like, there's no way someone like him is not dynamic enough to not get more reps on offense. And I'm not Sean. I'm not a Super Bowl winning coach. I just know, like, he's so explosive and so talented with the ball in his hands.
Where would you like to see more, just based off of what you saw from the offense? Where would you like to see him more? Because I understand what you're saying. His playmaking ability is super dynamic, but he's also on the smaller side of things. You already don't have a tall quarterback that can see over the line. I think it's easier to see a slot receiver. You know, Peyton's 6'5".
Yeah.
Brady's 6'5". Like, they're taller. You know, Bo's 6'1", 6'2". So where do you want to see Marvin more ingrained in the offense? Because, yeah, Bo threw the ball 38 times, but you don't want to take anything from Courtland. You don't want to take any targets away from Pat or Troy Franklin or even Evan Ingram. You know, Evan Ingram, he only had 2 targets. So where does this play apart?
I honestly think, and I'm going off prior games, and so I'm looking at Cincinnati last year. Mm-hmm. That crazy catch to tie the game and eventually push it to overtime.
Yeah, he lost 2 guys, or did he lost somebody?
I think it was 2 guys, right? Like, that's an like, you see things like that, you're like, oh, we got to find ways to get him the ball more. Then you look at the game last year also when they played against Cleveland, and Cleveland had them backed up. Bo threw that ball over the middle. Denzel Ward went for the pick. Mims caught it, housed it. Like, I just think there's big playability. I'm not even saying necessarily he should get like 50% more of the reps. I'm just saying there should be more targeted shots. And maybe they do have them, and maybe they're saving them for teams like the Chargers, like the Packers coming up. You know, whatever it is, I just would like to see more. And that's my guy too. So I'm advocating more because that's my guy. But I just think he's too special not to have the ball in his hands. Because what you're going to see too, and we've seen it, is punters are just going to stay away from him. They're going to take a little less yards, punt it a little bit higher, make them fair catch, or just kick it out of bounds.
That's going to give us better field position.
You're not hating on that.
Yeah, no.
I'd rather want a touchdown. Or,
I mean, I think that's the ultimate sign of respect is when they stop punting to you, or they'd rather punt out of bounds.
Yeah. That's
the ultimate sign of respect. And I think Marvin Mims definitely, top 1 or 2, if not the best returner in all of football right now when it comes to punt return. It's incredible to see. Special teams is going to play a huge part. You got Crawshaw. He's leading the Pro Bowl in voting.
Yeah,
you got Big Nuts Lutz, and then Mile High Marv.
Mile High Marv. Oh, is that what they're calling him?
That's what I said. That's what he said. They call him in the locker room, Mile High Marvin. That's why he did the salute.
That nickname is so sick.
That's fire.
That's fire.
Mile High Marv. So shout out to the special teams playing extremely well. We got some mailbag questions. So says, I'm curious as your thoughts on Sean running the eye and the pro set more and more? Could the fullback be a key to the run game success going forward, and how much should they operate out of these formations in your estimation? You being on defense might have a better answer. I think playing under center, I think helps Bo more. I think it's better for the play action game. I think just from what I know about the offensive line now and talking with guys like Tyler Columbus or Orlando Franklin, that, you know, when you're trying to do runs out of the gun, it's a little bit easier for the defense and it's harder for the offensive line. So I like them playing out of these pro formations. I think timing and anticipation has to be there for Bo to do that and do that really well. But I love old school football, and, you know, I think RJ Harvey can thrive in the eye, and I think Prentice being a fullback, I love to continue to see that, and I think you see that with, you know, some of the great teams that have won championships as of late.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think, and I also think it depends on where you're at with the growth of maybe like your quarterback, right? Like I think earlier in his career, like Josh Allen may have struggled because he was running out of the gun so much. And in the NFL, it's way different. Like, you're not getting that hard play action. Linebackers aren't moving up 2 yards to now run back and find their pass coverage. Like, I think that makes things harder. So the fact that Bo is operating from under center, I think makes things easier. Then later on in the games, and maybe this helps when they have to transition a 2-minute offense, there's only so much you can do on defense, and he's seeing it a lot better because of the under center snaps that he got through the first 3 quarters, right? So I totally agree. And I also think it brings a different edge because every single week you're probably playing against a team that's getting 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 receivers. Like, you're probably dealing with that 9 times out of 10. When you're dealing with the Broncos, it's 21. It's 12. It's sometimes 22. Yeah. And then they'll just go empty. And you're like, we don't cover this in practice. And it gives an edge. It really does. And that's why historically, Sean's been a master at personnel, and it is a lot to learn from an offensive scheme standpoint, but I think that's where you see a lot of success come from.
Best quarterback that you played against that was running out of the I formation, or, you know, with fullback in the game plan? Who just had crazy timing just from under center? We like barely played, and they didn't run much. The first person that came to mind was Lamar, because and now it's probably a little bit more gun-ish. And I'm trying to think, because Tom Brady didn't operate much when I played him. Not with the fullback, but under center, he was elite. That's what. So under center, it would have been Brady. That was my welcome to the NFL moment when we played him. My rookie season. We played him your rookie year. What year? What was our record that year?
It might have been my second year, but
we went 9-7 your rookie year.
Yes.
I don't think we played against Brady here. I don't think he had any passing yards in the first quarter. Do you remember that?
No.
0 passing yards.
I don't remember that.
Let me look that up. Yeah.
You should look that. But I just remember, like, with the first person that came to mind, fullback under center, was Lamar. But under center ever who I played against, is no question it was Tom Brady. I mean, the way that he operated and manipulated the defense. And that's the thing, though, right? Like, then he would check empty, and he would get exactly the matchup that he would want. You have a fullback at 1, Gronk at 2, and then Edelman at 3. And if you're in zone, good luck. Yeah. Because you know that linebacker's on Edelman, whatever the case may be. So definitely Brady.
So this is definitely a formula for success for the Broncos, and we want to see more of that. After seeing RJ's performance versus the Raiders, do you think we still need to try adding another running back, or do you trust RJ to perform like this in the playoffs?
No, I trust RJ. And you know what? And it's not even just about RJ, because, I mean, to have that load as a young guy, maybe you could be asking a little much. Could he do it? Of course he could. But I also liked what I saw from Jaleel. I don't know. The few reps that he had, I thought he ran the ball hard, and it for maybe a smaller stature of a running back, almost scat back-ish. I thought he was falling forward. Yep. And honestly,
he's running hard right now. He's like, at that point in his career.
Something.
Yes. And I talked about this once JK got hurt, and I was like, I've been in this situation before where you kind of been put on the bench, and then like now every rep means everything, and then he's in year 3 or 4. Like, he's about to play hard for the – not that he didn't play hard before, but now he knows his opportunities are very limited.
Yeah, when you're and from the year prior, he's getting reps. He's a part of the offense. He's dressing every week. And then, coming into this year, they signed Dobbins. They have RJ Harvey, so there's, not a lot of roster space for him. Sit in the first couple. Now that he's getting to play, I think you're seeing it in his run game. And so, I think RJ Harvey can and will continue to do well. I don't think you need to go out and sign someone else, but I also think that's a case in point because of the guys that are kind of backing him up.
Yeah, I think he's ready to perform later on in the playoffs, and you still got another month left of the season, and I think there is no substitute for experience. And Sean is a mastermind in terms of bringing guys on slowly but surely. You're going to play as a rookie, and you're going to play meaningful snaps early in the season, and people might question, why is this guy out here? He's not playing fast. He's messing things up. But Sean has a vision for this team. And Vance talked about it in his ESPN interview. Sean has a vision for each player. And now you're starting to see the vision come to life for RJ. And they drafted this guy in the second round for a reason.
That's good.
He's continuing to make plays. He leads the team in touchdowns.
That's good.
And he is now stepping into that Joker role, where you see him playing the Alvin Kamara role, catching the ball out of the backfield, running the ball, lining him up at receiver, double moves. You've seen him ingratiated throughout the entire game plan, and his handprints are all over each game plan, and I think you will continue to see that going forward. So I think he's definitely ready. And I think last week against the Raiders, you gave him a bulk of those carries to let him know this is how it's going to be for the rest of the year and in the playoffs. You need to be able to carry the ball 25. You need to be able to touch the ball 25 times and not get tired, because that's what we're going to need. So I don't think they need to add anybody else. I think you you stick with what you have in that room right now, and you do it with RJ Harvey leading the way, and then everybody else supporting him.
That's really good. I agree.
What AFC team do you think is the toughest matchup for the Broncos right now? This is a hard one for me, bro, because I don't know. There's still a lot to be played out. I would have said Kansas City, but it looks like they're about to be done, which probably that makes you so happy. That makes Yaya happy too. But Kansas City's about to be done. So right now, Broncos would have the bye.
And they have the tiebreaker with New England. Yep. Doesn't matter if they win out and Denver wins out.
Yeah, because the Broncos beat the Raiders.
That's right. They'll be fine.
It's crazy that New England lost to the Raiders and that they're 10-2.
Isn't that crazy?
And we just whooped their ass.
Yeah. 20-13, I believe, in New England.
Yeah.
First week one. That's just crazy to show you where teams can end up. But, so what's scary is, yes, Denver, in my opinion, can beat any team and make it to the Super Bowl, no doubt. Like, we're not questioning that. Broncos country, we're not saying like it. I also think these teams that are going to be the 5, 6, 7 seed and whoever wins those first slates of games can go to Denver and potentially win a football game.
Yeah. So the 5, 6, and 7 right now are Bills, Chargers, Texans. Those are all hard games. I would say the Chargers don't scare me.
No, the Chargers don't scare me.
But Buffalo
and Houston scare me.
Those are
watching Houston, and I know, and everyone's gonna be like, "Well, we just beat Houston." And I remember, if I remember correctly, last week you said you guys were the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. You beat the brakes off the Colts week 1, 35-7, whatever it was, right?
We dogged them.
Number 1 seed in the AFC. You're hosting first round. You guys have the Colts at home.
Yeah. And come in here and they beat us 24-14.
It just can happen, right? So, yes, they beat Houston. We beat Houston convincingly. Offense actually, against that defense, had a pretty solid game based off of what Houston's defense has produced this season. But that defense coming here with Mile High and CJ starting to gain more confidence.
Defense travels, bro.
And it does. That does.
I don't see CJ actually really having a big game against the Broncos if they were to play again, but I think it's one of those 12-9.
No, 1,000%.
14-10 type of games.
1,000%. I think CJ being in there as opposed to Mills helps Houston a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sitting here saying like I'm scared of the Houston Texans offense coming in and
it's their defense
it's their defense. And then vice versa, Josh Allen and the Bills, when he plays like he did against Cincinnati, now they were down, and the defense had 2 back-to-back picks that kind of brought them back to life. But, like, he still was playing.
What's it like playing against him?
It's unreal. I mean, someone said it, and I didn't watch John Elway play, but someone said he's a modern-day John Elway. Mm-hmm. And I know everyone raves about Elway when he was here and playing, rightfully so. Yeah. I mean, dude was an unbelievable, from the highlights that I saw, was an unbelievable player. Yeah. Unbelievable player. And I think, bro, like, watching him play every single week, and it's by committee. Like, there's not like, you know, they're trying to get Keon Coleman back on track. I think, in my opinion, he loves the Shakir player. He loves Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, and then they're running the ball really well, which I think is why they're scary, is because when they can run the ball well, it opens up the playbook for Josh. It's tough, bro, because he's a big dude, so he can run, and he has a big arm.
He's one of those players, bro, where you know when you're playing in Little League, and this is probably for all of us, like where you can dominate the game.
Yeah.
There are only a couple players that I've been on the field with or that I've seen in person where they look like it's still Little League to them. Cam Newton being one, and then Josh Allen being the other. Don't get me wrong, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Oh, Lamar Jackson's one of those guys too. But, you know, the other quarterbacks, Brady, Rodgers, you know, they beat you with their mind. But Josh Allen is physically imposing.
Yeah, no.
He's physically imposing.
And it just like and he doesn't run all the time, and he does slide, like he's smart with it. But the times where he needs to put his shoulder down and go get the touchdown and first down, he does it. Anytime you carry an elite quarterback like that with you, no matter who you're playing against, you're like, all right, you know, there's a test. Yeah. So to answer your question, I know it was long-winded, but Bills and Texans, those would be the two right now as it stands.
No Jacksonville. No, Pittsburgh. I'm not baiting you anything.
No. I think Jacksonville plays really good football. I think Liam Cohen has them believing. And they're kind of hitting their stride now at the end of the season, which is always a positive.
It's going to be good to see Tim Patrick come back here.
I can't wait.
He
motivated?
He's going to be pissed.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Because, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. He has 2 devastating injuries. And from, you know, looking back on it now, if you take yourself and you put yourself in George Payton's shoes and Sean Payton, it's like, man, you got incredible talent, but you've torn your Achilles and then your ACL. Like, what do you want us to do? But also, you know, Tim,
he's a dog.
A dog. And he plays like that.
Yeah.
No matter who's playing. And you know he's going to want to come back here and make plays.
I can't wait. And as guys, and everyone he knows.
Him and Hufanga. And Brandon
There's going to be a little chirpiness there.
Oh, for sure.
Nah, no doubt.
For
no
sure.
doubt. Because he's going to have to come down and crack them.
Yep.
And he's not going to –
He's not
my old teammate. But they're not also it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be good to see. Hey, DNVR fam. It is the holiday times. And during the holidays, you know one of the most important things is to get all the people you care about and yourself a little gift. And why not do it at Dick's? Why not stop at Dick's for your sporting goods and your hottest apparel on footwear from top brands like Nike, Adidas, Originals, FP Movement, and also DNVR. So at your local Dick's Sporting Goods, you can go get some DNVR gear, and that is the best place to shop for all sporting gears. I love shopping at Dick's Sporting Goods. I get a lot of my Nike gear from there. I am always trying to be in Nike. Nike's my favorite brand. So the Jordans I wear, the Air Force Ones I wear, Dunks, I am going to Dick's to get that gear. So whatever sport you play, whatever gear you need, whatever season it is, Dick's has got you covered. They've got great locations across the state. Get your gear first, fast, with curbside pickup at your nearest store or easy shipping from Dicks.com, because every season starts at Dick's. Hey, DNVR fam, I know you have seen Bo Nix on those Int Credit Union commercials. You've heard us talk about Int Credit Union and their Broncos checking product and all of the awesome perks it comes with, like game day discounts at Empower Field, the chance to win Broncos tickets, and exclusive merch. Well, now they are piling on even more perks. For those who are interested in signing up, they're giving you $200. Yes, $200 will drop right into the account after meeting just a few easy requirements. And the debit card that comes with it, fine. You can rock the Broncos branded one, a Bo Nix one, or you got PS2 on the throwback card, which will now be available at service centers starting on December 1st. They're almost like collectibles. So with the playoff push heating up, now is the time to lock it down. The perks, the card, the $200. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to int.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associated Int Broncos debit card. Requires $100 deposit and activation of the debit card within 30 days of account opening. All right. You've played against Green Bay. I've never played against... Oh, no, I have played against LaFleur Green Bay Packers, but Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback. And it's actually the game, it might be my last ever game. I ended up tearing my rotator cuff and labrum against Green Bay Monday Night Football in New Orleans. Bro, Aaron Rodgers threw for 357 on us. Woo. It was just like light work. But that New Orleans defense is not what this Broncos defense is, and Aaron Rodgers is not playing in this game. But thoughts on the Green Bay Packers? You've played against this offense. What's tough about going against this offense? Because they got a committee of receivers with Dobbs, Jaden Reed, shout out to my Michigan State guy, and then Watson, who's a big, fast, physical guy, and then you got Josh Jacobs. Thoughts on this Green Bay team?
So again, and I just think this is true maybe outside of a few quarterbacks, like an Aaron Rodgers or, Brady when he played. But I just think the run game for these quarterbacks helps so much. And Josh Jacobs brings a whole nother element for that offense. They can run the ball well. It makes it so much easier on Jordan Love and the receiver by committee. And that's not taken away from the receivers that they have because I think they're all really talented ball catchers.
Yeah.
They're
good players. No one scares you, but they're good players.
They're good players. Yeah. Like, he throws the ball up to them. You're not surprised they're coming down with the ridiculous catch and man-to-man.
Yep.
It'd be interesting because I think Watson is probably covered by Pat most of the game, so there's no big play potential.
It's just okay. That's why you take him out. Okay.
I think that's where you take him out, and he's probably the most consistent out of the receivers. So it would be interesting, and also for me, like, if we get the best version of Green Bay, I would get a little nervous. Yeah. But we haven't always seen the best version of Green Bay.
And why is the nervousness? Is it because of the way they spread the ball around, or is it because of the play calling of LaFleur?
It's because of the play calling of LaFleur. I think he's a tremendous play caller. I think he understands Jordan well and what he succeeds at and what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Moves the pocket a lot.
A lot. He does. He really does. And Jordan Love's not necessarily a runner, but he's athletic enough to be and can escape the pass. And then also their defense is playing really well. Parsons is getting after the quarterback, and they're using him. Hafley, shout out to my old BC head coach. Wasn't my head coach, but he was at Boston College. Jeff Hafley, he's having that defense. They're flying around. They're making plays. Their secondary plays with this type of swagger. That's like, if we got to play man, we will.
Xavier McKinney, right?
Xavier McKinney.
Beast.
Keyshawn Nixon is playing. He got the pick just last night to seal the deal against the Bears. Yeah, it's kind of a committee thing for me. I think the Packers are a really good team. I'm biased. Obviously, I think Denver walks away with the win. I think it's close, really close, like last possession close, but I think they walk away with the win.
Last possession close, so field goal.
Denver. I think Denver ends up. I think Green Bay goes down. They tie it. They go up a point, whatever, and then I think Bo and the offense do what they've done all season long, and they find a way to just set. What'd you call my man, Will? His nickname?
Philly Will?
No. Will Lutz.
Oh, Big Nut Lutz.
Yeah, knocks it down.
This is going to be an interesting game because I feel like the Broncos haven't played an offense like this. Not in terms of talent, but this is that McVay, Shanahan type of offense where it's a lot of play action, establish the run, and they it's all timing. A lot of their routes are timing, bang eights, quick slants, drag routes, F-hides, leaks, Y leaks. They have all these little gadget type of plays where, they got, very similar to Sean Payton. He's going to have 6 or 7 plays where there are people running wide open.
Yeah.
LaFleur's the same way.
Yeah.
And the best way to stop what Denver does well is to run that ball. And Josh Jacobs is a beast. So that is going to be, 817 yards on the season right now.
Yep.
12 TDs. So he is getting in the end zone.
And he's familiar, and this matters. I don't know if people realize, like, he's obviously, fans might remember, but he played with the Raiders.
Yep.
So very familiar with playing Denver and going into, because it's at Mile High, right?
Yeah.
Very familiar with coming into Mile High. Whether there's been success with that or not, I just think there's a familiarity and a comfortability with going into a place and knowing what to expect. And I don't know, that could carry. Hopefully it does not, but it could.
I'm really curious to see how Jordan Love plays because his play is so inconsistent.
Exactly.
And if they hit him early, I think he can throw the ball up. He's thrown 22 touchdowns this year, 4 interceptions. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think from an offensive standpoint, got to identify where Micah Parsons is on every play.
No doubt.
And I think that's one of the most important things from the quarterbacks that I played with. They were never worried about the concepts or necessarily secondary so much. We played against Jalen Ramsey a couple times or Stephon Gilmore, but it didn't matter unless you knew where the pass rush was coming from, specifically like a guy like Parsons. So do we run at him? Mm. How do we do it? Do we chip him? I don't think you leave him on the island just because his get off is crazy.
Oh, it's wild.
It's crazy.
And he also has a high motor. Like when and his ears are pinned back and he knows what he needs to go get done. It's wild. And that's what I mean though with Hafley. Like I was watching the game and the announcer did a good job of highlighting this. Like in these third down situations, like they're starting to even put him in positions where it's like, it'll be him and Rashawn Gary on one side and three guys on the other side. And then all of a sudden they drop him, but the three guys are still going. They're sliding the protection this way. And there's a free guy or a one-on-one that you're expecting to win, and they're at the quarterback now. So Sean's obviously going to have a game plan for those types of things, but, those are the things where it's like, you're rolling the dice. Is he coming? Is he not? It's
Do you
tough.
think – so you said Denver wins. Do you think it's more offensive or more defensive-led in this game? So closer or higher scoring, 34-31?
No, it's closer. I agree with you. I think this game and again, regardless of which Jordan Love and Green Bay offense shows up, I think Denver is talented enough to keep the big plays in check and to have a little bit more 3-and-outs than they're used to. I like a 17-15 game.
All right.
Somewhere around there, and I think Denver escapes with a win. Not escapes. I hate saying escape, so that's not the word I would use, but I think Denver leaves that stadium with a win.
I say 24-21. One of the keys I think is going to be what happened last week is going to be Mile High Marv making a big play in the return game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a field position battle game. It's going to be very much of let's control the clock on both sides.
Yep.
Let's run the ball. Let's establish the run. The best way, both these teams got incredible pass rushers. The best way to do that is run the ball and run the ball at them.
Yeah.
And keep them honest. So
it'd be interesting because, it's so fun when when you start doing the chess match within the game because I'm picturing Denver. They could be at midfield. Let's say it's like 3rd and 5, and I can imagine getting upset with the play. Maybe they run the ball 3rd and 5. They're trying to catch them in some exotic blitz. They run the ball. They don't get it. Now it's 4th and 3. They punt it. They pin them inside the 10. A lot of people are like, why did we do that on 3rd and 5? Well, say Denver gets a 3-and-out, which everyone in that stadium expects.
Right.
Now they're punting 1st and 10 on we'll just say the 10, 15, whatever. Mm. Now Denver gets the ball back at midfield, especially if Marv has a great return. And then those are the hidden yards or lost yards that everyone talks about in the game that make a big difference.
Hidden yardage. I haven't heard that term in a long time.
And I think
still in it.
I'm ready. I'm campaigning right now. Yeah. But those that's the chess match in football that very seldom people really understand. And I think Denver plays that type of game. I think Sean knows, obviously he knows what he's doing, but I just can't wait to see that aspect of it.
The playoff atmosphere is here now for the Broncos and every other team in the NFL. This is where the details start to matter. This is where your recovery starts to matter as a player. Just on the teams that I've played on around this time, you start to go to more walkthroughs, and now your emphasis on detail. So when I'm talking to people out there right now, it's all about getting to Sunday. And how do you get to Sunday the healthiest? So you'll have 3 or 4 periods where it's fast, but everything else is walkthrough. We got to be able to walk through these blitzes. We got to be able to walk through all these things. How can you get as many reps as possible without taxing the guy's body? Because you have 2 more months of football left.
No doubt.
That's how you're thinking now. 2 more months of football. So I know Sean has obviously been and done that. So that's what I expect to see. And I expect to see Bo play really well and for the Broncos to continue their home win streak. So that is another episode of Broncos X's and O's. Got 4-time All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler, and Walter Payton Man of the Year, Justin Simmons joining the show, man. Really appreciate you, bro. You are a natural at this, bro, and it's been an honor and a pleasure just to, share this desk with you.
Bro, it's awesome. Not a lot of people know about our relationship off screen, so the only reason I have any type of natural ability of standing up here and talking is because I'm talking to a good buddy of mine. So I appreciate you for having me, and Dave, it's all yours from here on out, brother. Welcome back.
Appreciate you guys.
We all silly like the mayor.